Yeah, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin-yang, come along.
Well, welcome aboard to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios here on this Friday, brought to you by the great folks at Andy Moore Honda in Bloomington. And we're joined by one of our old friends, my man Mitchell Paige.
Don't call me old.
Well, you know, O-L-E. I'll just put O-L-E, O-L-E, old friends.
Thank you.
Mitchell Paige, who former football player for Indiana, who has now found himself across the pond in Austria. And he's coming to us live from Austria right now. Man, how in the world you played some pro ball and you got the award, a big award toward the end, and went out and you're back, and I'm like, all right, I got Mitchell here. We're going to do some stuff. And the next thing I know, you were going to be on the show. And then the next thing, you're like, hey, man, I don't know. I may have this thing. I'm in Austria. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it happened very quick. I've been here for 3 weeks now, and I found out about it 4 weeks ago. So it was a thing where I got a message on Monday, and unique situation here with I'm in Vienna, Austria with the Vikings. They had a guy that they had already signed and were ready to start the season with, and something came up for him and he couldn't play anymore, and they were scrambling looking for a guy and asked around, and my name came up. Got the message. Within a week I was ready to come.
My man Mitch ready to go, man. Excited obviously about getting back on the field. I assume I think you've had one game so far.
Yes. Yeah. We played one game 7 days ago. I was a little rusty, so hopefully nobody watched it. Yeah, I was a little bit rusty, but it's coming back. It's just good to be talking football again and moving around and using the body that I didn't realize could still go. It's still got some life left in the knees, and I'm getting faster every day and getting back into thinking like that.
How long? When was the last time you active football?
2018.
So
it's
3
been
years.
2.5 years. Two and a half years. Yep.
It's not like it's unheard of, but it's difficult. But you're young enough that bounce back is still there, man. Yeah, you wait 5 years from now. You probably couldn't have done this 5 years from now, could you?
Exactly. It was an opportunity. They've been phenomenal to me, and just everything seemed to align. All the stars aligned for me, and it was the right time to just go give it one last crack and learn some German and experience just a new part of the world that I hadn't really been at before, and it's been voted the world's most livable city, so I'm getting to see some of that.
Okay, so you're in Austria. You got to hook up with my man Jordan Hulls. He's right there in Germany. I'll have to get the city for you.
Yeah, he was
Würzburg.
He was there when I was in Dresden, which that was 3 years ago. But it was far from where I was, and I think he's a lot closer now. He's a lot better player still than I am. So I would have to live up to his celebrity, but I would enjoy that for sure.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, man. So you got to be excited about this the season in front of you, getting to play some football again. What's it like? What's the football like there? I mean, I know it's the same game, and they probably have a lot of American instructors, coaches, and a lot of influence there, obviously. So, but what's it like there?
Yeah, it's a little different than the U.S. It's a club sport. They don't have high school sports here, so you don't run out on Friday night and play for all your buddies. This is a club that some of the guys pay to play. Most of the guys pay to play, and it's just they do it because they love it. It's like going back to the skill level's better than what I played at high school, but it's like going back to high school. Everybody plays because they have all their friends here and they love to play. It's not as much a job where people are yelling down your throats all the time, like sometimes it could be in college, or where this is your livelihood like it was in the NFL. So it's a refreshing way to play, and I'm having a ton of fun.
It sounds like a lot less stressful type of league.
Yes, definitely. There's not billions of dollars on the line like there are in Division I football or even Canada. There's just there's phenomenal players. We just had one of the receivers that they had just was in the International Pathway Program. He's probably going to get picked up by an NFL team. There's plenty of talent. It just is – it's not as big here as it was in the U.S., obviously. But it's growing. It is definitely growing.
Tim, Matt, how do you say football in German?
I have no idea. And I definitely should know that. I want to say like foosball or something, but that just I don't think
that sounds too clean for German.
Yeah, I'm learning a little German. I know to say kein Deutsch, which means I don't speak English or don't speak German. That's a big one that I use. Kein Deutsch.
Well, Joey can put you on the diet. He burnt 800 calories this morning, so he forgot the pizza overnight. So Tim asks, play football. Tim points out you can play football, then you go out for Bratzen beer.
Yeah, they have the best beer here. They've got beer gardens everywhere. The problem is it's a little more strict on the coronavirus, so we're currently in a lockdown. I'm allowed to be at the facility as I am right now, but it's not nearly as open as Indiana is, especially. But hopefully we're trending that way. They're a little slower on the vaccine rollout, but trending towards opening.
Yeah, I hope you get that soon, man. Looking forward to keeping. All right, how long's the season? So we got to keep up with this and keep track of what's going on.
Yeah. So our Austrian league is through the 31st of July, but we're also playing in the Central European. It's international games. So our first game, I can't remember who the first game is against, honestly.
Man, you just got to go. Well, that's awesome. We're just got to keep up with this because this sounds like a new deal for you. That's
it won't be like it was in Germany. In Germany, I got the ball a lot, and I don't think it'll be quite like that here, which is good. We're very balanced. We're tough, so it won't be as many touchdowns, hopefully, but hopefully we can win a championship, and I can send you the trophy.
See, I told you we got to get this show going. Turn the page. Every day it's a new chapter. Every day it's a new chapter with you, man. I've already got the name.
Jim.
Turn the page. I've already got the name of it, man.
I'm always on the move, Jim. You know.
Hey, I think
always on the move.
Well, we'll have to start doing a show sometime, some type, regardless. International football show with you now is got to get it going. The man of international travel and food, but brother, I know you got to get going, so I don't want to keep you. But thank you.
I gotta go break in my new cleats.
Those Adidas?
Absolutely not. I'm off the Adidas train. The fresh Nikes, where are they at?
Oh.
You can't even see. Why isn't it? Whatever.
Yeah.
Fresh Nikes. They're really gonna hurt my feet, so I'm in for some pain here in about an hour. But feeling good.
For brother, good luck, man. Look forward to keeping up with you.
Absolutely, and look forward to being on the show. Hopefully a little bit more as the season gets rolling along. Would love to keep you guys updated and share the love for the international ball.
And, of course, we've got Indiana football coming up this fall that should definitely keep you involved in because it's going to be an absolutely fun fall.
Yeah, it's the best team in the world.
Cannot wait, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm around the world now, and I don't see a team on the planet that's better than the Indiana Hoosiers. So I can't wait to win the national championship. I don't see anybody that can beat us. I don't care about those other teams. We're the best team in the world.
There you go. You heard it first from Mitchell Paige, live from Austria, Vienna, Austria.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a great day, guys.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much. Mitchell Paige, the great Mitchell Paige, joining us live from Vienna, Austria. We're an international show here, man. It's just we do whatever it takes. Perfect. Well, that was fun. He had to jump off here, but man, I did not expect that from Mitchell. When I got that text a couple weeks ago, whenever it was, man, I was like, what? I mean, I was literally talking to him one day, and then the next day he's leaving for Austria. And I'm like, what in the hell? No, I think the next day he was in Austria. Nuts. But yeah, so I just saw someone said the German word for football is Fußball. There you go. So you got that. Man, looking forward to Alec Lasley is going to join us in the next segment. We got plenty of IU hoops to talk about, everything else going on as we prepare for the weekend. Looking forward to that as things are just getting better and better. Looking forward to getting Dane Fife on here in the next week or so. Kenya Hunter as well. We got plenty of things to get to. Verdell's just a little late today, so if you're wondering about that, we got Mitchell on early instead. Alec's going to join us next as well. We're going to talk about recruiting and what are some possibilities to fill these remaining spots. Do they fill? I don't think they fill both these remaining scholarship spots, but that's just what a hunch. I think that they're going to wait and take that into next season, but that is on the premise that they're going to use that for a freshman. The portal is changing college athletics, and basketball more so than anything, I think, right now. And there are more players in the portal than there are going to be homes for them. Will they all be able to go back to where they came from? Maybe that should be a premise of going into the portal. If you go into the portal, you can't come back. Maybe not make it quite so easy. That's a thought. What do you think about that? So the newness is a big part of it, of course. We've talked about that, but I think you've got to you got to do something, or this is just going to become a runaway train. And these the high school seniors, man, they're really screwed in this deal. Where do they go? They don't have scholarships now. If these are all just getting passed around, and you've got to add the COVID year, this group of seniors is really, really getting stepped on. And it's a lot of kids are going to lose a lot of opportunities because of that. They're going to get lost in the shuffle. You've not been able to go out and get to see these kids. The portal offers ready-made numbers, person with numbers that you can look at, film that you can look at. So, yeah, there's that. Joey talked about mustard only on a brat. I'm with you, brother. I'm not no ketchup on a hot dog or a brat for me. We can talk about that later too if you want. But we got Alec Lasley coming up next. We'll talk about some recruiting and all of that. You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat coming to you from the Golf Club Eagle Point Studios. Back with more right after this. Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're looking for a new or
was Mitchell's video laggy to you, or is that just to me?
to you.
That's
I mean, I thought it was fine. He's coming from Vienna, Austria.
yeah, like he sounded fine, but on my end, he wasn't. His video.
It seemed fine to me.
Well, that's good. At least you could see it. Morning, Alec.
Morning. How you doing?
Doing all right.
What's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
Oh, I didn't get to eat my breakfast, so I'm mad. Greatest breakfast in the world, and I'll make it.
What is it?
Yogi's has this chicken dip that I put into scrambled eggs. That is amazing. It makes it amazing. I throw in some, I make bacon, and then I take their buffalo chips, which are like potatoes, and I throw them in the bacon after that, and then throw them in the scrambled eggs with the chicken dip, and it is glorious.
Back in about 15.
Encounter with elephants and giraffes, lodging that is out of this world, world-class golfing, and a premier resort experience that is waiting for you on your next visit to French Lick, West Baden.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry. Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Indiana Sports Beat coming to you. Brought to you by Any More Honda of Bloomington. Alec Lasley from thehoosier.com joining us now. Alec, how's it going, man?
Good, Jim. How you doing?
Great. We've gotten to speak to Kenya Hunter, Dane Fife. The players are mostly set. You got a couple open scholarships that in the last segment, while I was talking, I said, I don't know that they're going to even hold those for a freshman anymore. Do they bring somebody in now and hold one for next year, but still use the portal? I mean, it has become, it's a whole new game, especially if you just need a player or two. Why would you waste that on a freshman or as a freshman to be with no, as opposed to someone you've got video on, you've got numbers on, who's got some college experience? It's going to be a shakeup for the high school seniors. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing you point to is a lot of these college coaches are now going to be faced with the fact where they would probably much rather go with a proven 1, 2, 3, or even a 4-year player in this sense this year, of guys who have actually played at the level, produced at this level, and they know and they feel comfortable with that person coming in immediately and producing. You don't have that with a lot of freshmen. You see more and more over the past 3, 4, 5 years, you have less impact freshmen every single season. And for Indiana, a team that now has some expectations for next year that they didn't have, maybe 3, 4 weeks ago, you definitely need to look for those high impact players. And that's exactly what Mike Woodson has talked about so far. I think there is one name of that freshman class coming in that Indiana's kind of picked up the conversation with, at least, and that's Tamar Bates. He was a Texas commit before Shaka Smart ended up moving to Marquette. Indiana's involved with him now. Really, really talented top 60 combo guard. Mike Woodson's still trying to go after some of those combo guard positional players where they can play 1 through 3. They can do a lot. They can be a big time playmaker for Indiana. Obviously, we know Indiana lacked a lot of that playmaking ability last year. You get that back with Christian Lander, Xavier Johnson coming in. Obviously, you lose Armand Franklin, but I think that's why Mike Woodson's still looking to kind of round up that backcourt, and Tamar Bates is another guy just to kind of keep tabs on as we move forward here in the next week or two, I would say.
Yeah, that's another question has been Jerome Hunter. We've heard zip on him, about him, so he's obviously going nowhere. But he's someone that just hasn't been developed, I think. And we saw a little fracture in the – I mean, he's to me, he's the ultimate Archie guy because he was the guy that was recruited by Archie at Dayton. So he's one of the original guys, but there was a fracture there we saw last year. So I think that he wants to do more, maybe. Or it's that he thinks that he's capable of doing more. And so I think that we're going to get to see the possibility of him being developed and a lot more from someone like Jerome Hunter, who they have not had. They have not had that slashing wing, that guy that can do something that makes a defense look outside in a different direction, because it's been one thing, passing the ball around the perimeter, trying to get Trace open. And that just doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think part of it was obviously his freshman year, his true freshman year, losing that to that leg condition that he had. I think that he's never going to fully recover from that. He's never going to be the player, the top 60 player that he was coming out of high school. And because of that, he's just not going to be able to do as much offensively that he was projected to be able to do, because he was projected to be able to be that kind of slashing wing, a much bigger three on the perimeter. I don't necessarily think he's ever going to be that player again. I think you're going to see a lot more of a stretch four in him, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially for this Indiana team that needs outside shooting. And I think he showed you that last year in the last 5 or 6 games, that he was able to kind of bring that toughness that he kind of lacked for the majority of his career up to that point. And if he brings a toughness where he's able to scrap for rebounds, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that he's only going to be basically a 3-point shooter on the offensive end, because that's what Indiana needs. And I think you're just going to see him used a lot more, I think, in ball screens than you did last year in pick and pop situations, that I think is going to really benefit not only the Indiana guards, because it's going to put a lot more pressure on the opposing defenses, but it's just going to help Jerome Hunter kind of free up his shot even more than just being a standstill shooter.
Yeah, Tony says he hopes the press conferences from the coaches will continue, and that's going to. The openness, they've already told us it's a different day, and we've already seen that, and it's very refreshing. So, and that's going to be good for you guys as well. Chris says that he doesn't understand going for guards. They have 6 guards already. How do you defend a 6'8" guy with a 6'2" guy? They've got to find a mix, but you always have to have more guards. You can't have enough shooters. Enough 1, 2, 3, man. That spot is just, I know 3 is not really the guard, but it's a hybrid.
But it can be, because Baylor, they played 3 guards for most of the season, even going with 4 guards at some points too. You look at the best teams in college basketball over the past 3-4 seasons, it's very, very guard heavy and guard oriented, because you can never have enough playmakers on the floor and ball handlers on the floor. And you would rather have 5 or 6 guys that you always feel comfortable with coming in there, at least knocking down a shot or 2, or being able to make plays, than only having 2 or 3 guys like Indiana did last year, where you don't even know what you're going to get out of those guys on a given night.
Ask Matt Painter how that worked for him. He had all the height in the world, and Texas Southern had all those little mighty mites and ran them out of the gym. So how does a 6'8" guy guard a 6'2" guy? It may be the better question, because if you're knocking down shots, that is all that matters. If you are shooting the ball, I don't care how tall you are. They've got to stop you. They have got to start paying attention. And that's what you have not seen from the Indiana offense, is shots being made from different places to open things up. When that does not happen, the defense does not have to do anything. That is why. So just knocking down shots, people, changes everything in the world. But so that's why. But I agree. It's not like you can have a team of 6'2" guys, and that's not what we're saying. But it's a mix.
Yeah, and I mean, you even look at some of the guards that Indiana's going to have. They're not, the typical 6-foot guards that you may be used to. Xavier Johnson's basically 6'4", super physical guard as well. Parker Stewart right around the same as well. So you have bigger guards, longer guards, and more physical perimeter players than Indiana's had in the past. And especially if you have athleticism with those perimeter players too, that makes up for a lack of size, just because they're able to do a lot more on the floor than maybe what you're typically used to out of a 6'1", 6'2" point guard or shooting guard in the past. That's just how college basketball's changed so much over the past few seasons.
Yep. Here's a comment that Franklin said going into the portal, he had a list of things he was looking for, and Virginia checked all those boxes. Hey, good for him. I have no, if that's what's better for him, that's fine. I have no issue with it. I think it was a mistake on his part, but that's just because I think that he would have been better off staying here. But hey, he's got his future to deal with. It's his life. And it does not bother me in the slightest that he thinks what he thinks about his life, because it's his life and no one else should be bothered by that at all. It's his life. Do you want someone else weighing in on your kid's decision? Let them do what they want to do. Everyone can have their opinion about it, but hey, it's his and his only. And I have zero problems with it, and no one else should either. But as Indiana goes forward, the offense is gonna be completely different. We just talked about I call it the go nowhere offense. This is going to be go somewhere fast offense. You're not going to be waiting till 5 seconds of the shot clock to get your first shot attempt up. This is going to be a much more progressive offense, and I would surmise a much more ball hawking defense, to use the words of Dane Fife. Ball hawking, when he talked about Rob Finney. Talked about Rob Finney being the best guard in the Big Ten. He's been misused. He doesn't have to be the offensive producer. He just has to be a part of it. And if you're the defensive guru, man, you're more than making your bones out there. You're scoring points by preventing points. There's a lot of ways to contribute offensively and not score the ball.
Yeah, and I think he just never really fit into the Indiana offense as the main playmaker. He's not the kind of guy who's going to go create easy opportunities for his teammates. He's a guy who's going to control the tempo, which he, whether you liked it or not, over the past 3 seasons, he controlled the tempo for the most part. But I think you saw at times last year when Al Durham was moved to the primary ball handler, or even when Christian Lander did get some minutes with Rob Finney, the way it kind of freed up Rob Finney to at least move around off the ball a little bit more on the offensive end. And he even talked about that throughout the better half of the second portion of last season too, that he just felt more comfortable being able to be a little bit more free to do what he wanted on the offensive end when he had more of that primary ball handler, and he didn't have to do that. So I think you're going to see a lot more, again, of those 3-guard sets where even Kenya Hunter mentioned it yesterday for the transition game. Whoever gets the rebound, they just push it and go. And it's just going to be a lot more free-flowing, where you're still going to have structure to it, but you're going to have a lot more freedom for the guards to do whatever they want. And you're not just going to be so structured where you have to go from point A to B, which I think really halted a lot of the growth for Rob Finney, just because he seems more of a player just to kind of play than he does to really be structured and confined that I think Archie Miller did a lot of with him especially.
Joey thinks the offense is going to go from go-karts to NASCAR. That may be an appropriate assessment. A question from Tim: why would you want to go play in an NBA, not play in an NBA style, if your goal is to get to the NBA? I don't have the answer to that. So that's, I think, a question about Armand again. So I don't understand. There should not be any more questions about Armand. There should not be any more comments or questions about Armand Frank. He's not a part of this team. I don't understand why you all are commenting on it. I don't. He's gone. Look forward. You've got a new coach, a new staff, new players. Why are you not looking forward? Forget about that. It's a great day. It's a good day. Everything is positive. You've got football coming in the fall that's going to kick butt. Man, it's the sun's coming. It's spring. Hell, it's spring. If I opened the door up, it would sound like the Augusta here. So I'm smiling. If I'm smiling, it's got to be a great day. Trust me.
That's true.
Believe me. I mean, stress, it goes away. It's awesome. So enjoy it and let them. From what you've been doing, what is the most likely of top 3 candidates? Or is that even a possibility to put that down right now? I know sometimes it's so hard to lock that down of who they're chasing and what they're trying to get, because relationships, a lot of these relationships are already set that these guys had. This staff has come in a little late, but not entirely, because you've had Kenya Hunter. Kenya Hunter's been a big linchpin in this staff. He virtually had to be retained. A lot of would have fallen apart, probably not fallen apart, but man, there would have been a big hole for this staff if they didn't retain Kenya Hunter.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when he came in at the start of last season, expected him to move mountains right away, and that's just not how recruiting works. It's all about relationships, and that's something that he's had and developed over his career in the college level. And a lot of this was built for the 2022 class. And you look at what he's done already. Obviously, Parker Stewart was the main one, getting him to originally commit to Indiana, and then obviously getting him back this offseason. But Xavier Johnson, that was because of a relationship that he had previously with Johnson's family when they were both at Nebraska. Xavier Johnson originally committed to Nebraska before Kenya Hunter left for UConn, and that relationship was already set in stone. So right off the bat, you have two probably of your better playmaking guards, if not your top two guards on the roster for next season, all because of Kenya Hunter. And then you look at the 2022 class, and I think it's 7 or 8 of the offers that Indiana had previously are all due to Kenya Hunter connections, all on the East Coast. So if you were not able to retain him, your 2022 class is now going to take a step back, just because you're going to start from only about 3 or 4 players that didn't have a previous Kenya Hunter connection in your offer list. And the way that they were able to obviously retain him, I think you're going to see not only recruiting pick up just in general because of Mike Woodson, but I think you're going to see a lot of that due to the Kenya Hunter relationships that he had previously.
Yeah, when we come back, we're going to talk about Yasir Roseman, who was the latest coach hired. I just put up some money. He posted apparently a pic of his twins in a IU onesie that won some fans over. Joey wanted Tamar Bates, or wants Tamar Bates. We'll talk about that. But the latest coach, Yasir Roseman, what he brings, because I keep getting asked that. And people are concerned about his past. We'll talk about all that as well. We'll be back with more Indiana Sports Beat from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios right after this.
Welcome to your extra.
Oh, I can finish my breakfast.
So yesterday you threw out your bacon. What's the verdict today?
Oh, much better. This is a keeper. I have 3 different styles I was going through, Alec. First one's out.
Is this number 2 then?
Mm-hmm.
So is this a keeper?
Mm-hmm. Has to be thick cut.
Y'all have that microwavable bacon from Sam's Club?
I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
That doesn't sound like it.
I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
Hey, it got me through college. That's all I'm saying.
I am not eating college fucking bacon. If I was going to eat shit I eat in college, I'd be eating a bowl of fucking.
Sure. I wanted to ask. Maybe you'd had it before. I didn't know if you had.
If I was going to eat what I ate in college, I'd be eating a bowl of cream of mushroom soup and a can of green beans.
Okay.
That was dinner.
Right, so, wait, I've never seen Roseanne. I know the show, but who is DJ Connor? Over in the chat on the right, Joey says I look like DJ Connor. Who is that from Roseanne?
Joey,
I have to look this up real quick.
Is that the kid that was on there?
I don't know. I've never seen the show. I've heard of it, but I've never.
That's because that's right. You're too damn young. I think that's the kid.
What else has this guy been in?
Alec, are you my age?
I'm 25. I don't know how old you are.
I'm 23. Will said you were still in college. I wasn't sure.
No, it's not.
Nope. Out in 2017.
Gotcha.
I guess I can see it a little bit.
Man, when I was fatter and years back, I got 2 guys. One was Ben Roethlisberger with his big fat face. And I was like, ooh. There was. And there was a guy that played on, what was that stupid show? ER. But we did look just like.
All right, we're coming back in less than 30.
It's got you covered. They're Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. For deals like this, how about a new 2020 Honda Civic LX front-wheel drive lease for just $180 a month? Or a new 2021 Honda Accord LX front-wheel drive lease for just $270 a month. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer. Welcome back. Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. Alec Lasley sitting in with us right now. Verdell's going to join us in a little bit. Comments on Alec's appearance. Who was it that said you look like? Joey says you look like DJ Connor from Roseanne. I think that's the kid that was on that show. And Alec looked it up in the. We should have thought. I should have had you throw up a picture, John. Damn it, I didn't think quick enough. You gotta help me start thinking quick. I'm not as a quick thinker, but there's some similarities there. I was talking about the buffalo chicken dip from Yogi's that I put in my scrambled eggs every morning. It is the bomb. Let me tell you. Nope, Verdell did not oversleep. Verdell is a man that wears a ton of hats, man. Who knows what he's doing today? He's probably out pulling a cat out of a tree, I would imagine. If I know Verdell, he's pulling a cat down from a tree for some old lady and fixing breakfast for the kids in the neighborhood. Who knows? That's what I would expect Verdell to be doing. So Tony agrees, Alec. Yeah, you kind of do. Joey's got shirts older than Alec. So there we go. Tim thought he looks more like Chase Elliott without a beard. So, I hear it. Wow, I get a little Ricky Bobby. So there you go. Oh man. Gee whiz. And then Tim says, what's it? I don't get that one. Missed the reference on that one. But anyway, okay. Yasir Rosemond, the latest hire for Mike Woodson's and Indiana basketball staff. Kind of an outlier, I guess, is the best word to describe it. No connection known to the fans, a name that's not known. His background is, it's where he came from. And then there's a little bit of the hint of that FBI investigation. So some questions that have come up with his name. And then he was on the Alabama staff with Avery Johnson down at Alabama last until 2015, and what he's been doing for the last 6 years. So lots of questions about where he's been, what he's been doing. Why has he not been coaching for 6 years?
Well, so there is a connection. He was actually an assistant coach with Kenny Payne when they were both at Oregon. Kenny Payne now the one of the assistants for the New York Knicks, and that's obviously where Mike Woodson was before he became the head coach of Indiana. So that relationship ties to Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne really well known.
That's a relationship of a relationship.
Yeah, but Kenny Payne's really well known not only in the recruiting world in college basketball, but just his whole his entire connection and network. If it comes from Kenny Payne, you have a pretty good guy. So that's where that comes from. Obviously, a lot of people are going to look at his name coming up in the FBI investigation. That was really short-lived. There was nothing that came out after that tied him to anything related to that. He had one meeting and then moved on from that. I don't think there's anything to be concerned about. And I think, honestly, Indiana just needs a little bit more excitement and enthusiasm coming to their fan base. And that's what you have with some of these hires. He does a great job not only developing players throughout his time in Oregon and Alabama, but also recruiting. He's going to be a really strong player in the Southeast for Indiana. And that's not a place that they've really been able to do a whole lot over the past 10 years. You look at Trendon Watford, and I think it was Christian who came out the other day and said if Rosemond was still at Alabama when Trendon was going through his college selection, that he was going to end up at Alabama instead of LSU. So the relationship there, I think it's a really strong hire. I think it's a really good third staff member for Mike Woodson's staff. And now I think you have a really, really strong trio of assistant coaches who not only can recruit really, really, really well, but then can also do a lot with development and also game planning. I think you crossed off a lot of boxes with the 3 staff members, and then you throw in Mike Roberts and Thad Matta, still somewhat involved in the basketball program. And I really think it was a home run group that Scott Dolson and Mike Woodson put together, from Woodson all the way down to keeping, Cliff Marshall and Brian Walsh and some of these other guys on staff. So I think all in all, I think Indiana fans are going to be really excited with the staff and what they do in a year or two from now, when you really start to see some of the results.
Yeah, it's again, there's so much that I always say, you don't know what you don't know. And that goes for everyone. It goes for the fans. It goes for me. There's always that level up above you. And Kenny Payne is someone who has been rising quickly. And Tim made the comment, well, let's see. Tony first said, I think that he was talking about Yassir.
Rosemond. Yeah.
Tim says Kenny Payne leaving UK is why UK was so bad last year. He was the player development. There could be some truth to that, because I've always said that, and this is just a anti-Calipari comment, but that Calipari, he can only out-recruit you. He can't out-coach you. And last year, he still had, if I'm not mistaken, the top recruiting class, and looked like crap. Looked horrible. Didn't have Kenny Payne on the staff. When you don't have player development, you don't have to look too far. Look at Indiana. When you do not have guys get better, it's a huge problem. So, and if you don't think coaching matters, well, again, you don't have to look too far. Look at Indiana. Coaching matters. It absolutely matters. And that development, there's guys that can develop, that can see talent. There's guys that can develop talent, not necessarily do both. There's guys that can do both. But that is certainly something that is going to happen now, because you've got, as you just mentioned, you've got Thad Matta, you've got Mike Woodson, you've got Dane Fife, you've got Kenya Hunter, you've got Yassir Rosemond, who these guys can all spot talent. They can all develop talent, but all aren't going to be allowed to develop talent. Thad will have to sit on the sideline, but he can have meetings with the guys. Larry Brown, I guarantee you, he's going to be involved in this. Mike Woodson, whether he's talking to him every day or whatever it is. And I promise you, it's going to be a freaking big help. You've got a White House staff. They have basically put together a chief of staffs for Indiana basketball. I mean, and it's kind of what Scott Dolson said. He was going to approach it differently, and he has put that together. It shouldn't have taken that, but it did. And it needed something drastic and different, just like Indiana football, a drastic and different. I think it was an accidental, but it was completely drastic and different, but it worked. And this is going to work. I completely. It's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be Bob Knight again, because Bob Knight was Bob Knight. Bob Knight was a freaking genius, a savant. You can, just because you have 5 great guys together does not equal one savant. But it's going to be good, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it does obviously plug a lot of holes. I think whatever weaknesses they do have, they brought in someone who plugs that hole with the strength of theirs. And again, the one guy that you didn't mention out of those 5 was Mike Roberts as well. And I think what he has done over the past few years has gone, really unnoticed. He's never going to be, at least with this Indiana staff, the guy who was going to be one of the top one or two assistants for Mike Woodson, but I think retaining him is a really underrated move. I think some of the connections that he has to the Northeast is really strong as well. And keeping him on staff in some capacity is really going to benefit not only, again, that transition that Kenya Hunter talked about yesterday, but also just the continued relationships they have with some of the classes incoming.
We'll get the mop lady on again. As a matter of fact, probably do that regularly when season rolls around. Tim asked, how tall is Thad? He looked like he towered over Woodson. No, he didn't tower over. Woodson's like 6'8". Thad Mott, I was thinking he was like 6'5", but I can't remember. I think he's only like 6'4", 6'5". Mike Woodson's like 6'8", I believe. Isn't he? Or 6'7"? Of course, he is older. But Mike P says, agreed 1,000%. Indiana has created an all-star staff. And it is. It is, and everyone's going to have a different role. And if everyone, it's like a team. It's exactly like a team. You have to have role players. You think about the teams back in the 80s, 90s, whether it was the 70s. Well, 70s were all-stars, but there were often guys whose role was never to shoot the ball. They were on the floor a lot, but their job was never to shoot the ball. The different styles, but the point is role players, and the staff has tons of role players, everyone playing a different role that combined, it's set up to be great and to do great things because Indiana is set up to be great. That's part of why they were great. It's hard not to be when it's plucked right down in the middle of the vortex. You're in the middle of the vortex, baby, of the talent. And that's not a joke. Again, we talk about the Kentucky-Indiana All-Star Series. There's a reason Indiana leads that series 3-1 over since that game has been played for, 70, 80 years. That's not an accident. It's true. I mean, it has always been a part of the culture, and it turned from culture to a way to get someplace. And that's why it continues to grow here. And I think that when they recapture that, they can recapture the magic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one interesting way that Scott Dolson kind of put this crew together is built it exactly like an NBA organization. You kind of have that GM role with Thad Matta, and just what you had said, everyone has their specific roles and responsibilities, and it just seems a lot more defined on who has what strength and where that's really going to be put to the test. And I don't think you had that with Archie Miller's staff. I think you had some really solid pieces there in terms of the staff and administration around him, but I don't think there was any real defined roles and kind of outlined strengths for everyone. I don't know necessarily if you had a lot of people who did a lot of things great. And I think that's what you have with this staff in place. You have guys who do one or two things great, and then everything else really, really good. And you need great people on your staff in order to succeed, because in college basketball, it's definitely way more than just the head coach. And the staff is sometimes more important than just the head coach that actually fills out the team.
Yeah, Tim said that so there was a resolution passed by Indiana lawmakers for Bob Knight's 50 years since being hired. Cool, very nice. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting year all the way around. Hopefully fans are back. We keep talking about that, and we'll see how that goes. There's a thank you, sir. Man. If we could get a hat on that picture, put that back up there.
All right. Well, yeah, but that there's a little bit of an age difference there.
It doesn't matter. It's the light. If you put a hat on him, dude, that is whoever said that. Was that Joey? I don't know who said that, but buddy, that was
I think that was Joey.
Yeah, nailed it. You got to admit it. Come on.
Oh no, it does. I can see how it works.
Oh man, I love that little DJ. It's your new nickname. DJ, all right. What's the next domino likely to fall?
I don't necessarily know if there's going to be a true domino here in the next week or so. I think it's going to be a little bit further out than that. I think like I said, the next name that you really have to kind of watch is Tamar Bates. We'll have a story coming out, if not today, tomorrow. I got a chance to talk with his dad a little bit more in detail about Indiana's involvement. And, you know, I think Indiana has a real legit shot to land him. There seems to be 3 or 4 teams with Missouri, Oklahoma State, Pitt's in there as well. I think North Carolina is starting to kind of try to get in there as well. But Indiana has a legit shot. I think the pieces that they have on the roster now, if you bring in a guy like Bates, you see that immediate impact because you have a guy like Trace Jackson Davis, you have a guy like Xavier Johnson, Parker Stewart, Race Thompson, guys who are really, really talented in what they can do, and you just bring in maybe one little more sprinkle or the icing on the cake with Bates. I think you're looking at a really, really solid team next year, a solid team already for next year. But I think he's going to be the name to kind of follow a little bit more closely over the next few weeks than any other name, at least up to this point. That can change in obviously a blink of an eye with 1,100 names still in the transfer portal. So there's still a lot of moving pieces as far as Indiana's roster.
Yeah, I mean, if you obviously the people listen to me know that for the last couple of years I've been just all over Archie for a good reason, because they weren't doing these things. Now I look at this team. Not only are they an NCAA tournament team next year, I think that they are a team that there's no reason that they cannot actively be in the second weekend if that goes back to the regular schedule and contend that weekend. They have the talent, and they're going to have the coaching, and they're going to have the wherewithal. They're going to have all that they need. I'm not saying they're an elite team. If this is Baylor, this is Gonzaga, but I think that they're going to be a lot closer to competing with Gonzagas and Baylor's next year. And then I think that it's not going to take long, right? The talent is around. And then now the portal has changed college basketball forever. And next year will be the most different season we have ever seen in college basketball. It is going to be the most different look ever. Matt McClung has already gone from West Virginia, played there. He played a vital role in Texas Tech's season this year. And now I believe he's transferring again, correct?
Yeah, he entered the transfer portal mainly due to the fact that Chris Beard left Texas Tech. But he also put his name in the NBA draft as well. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. I don't necessarily know if he'll come back again. I don't know how much better he can actually develop his game. I think he is what he is at this point. But yeah, just another guy who has gone from team to team, and I think you're going to see a little more often over the next few seasons with the one-time transfer rule, just because guys are just going to do it just because they want to, because they can. And again, people always think the grass is, a lot greener on the other side when maybe it really isn't.
Right. And like I said, this is going to be, I think it's going to calm down, but for a year or two, this is going to be the rage, but it's going to change the face of college basketball. Next year, the teams are going to have a completely different look. When you have stars, and I'm just using Mike McClung because he was a vital part. Dude's a shooter. Man, if he went to another team, say Kentucky, say if he wanted to get closer to home and he ends up in Kentucky, you're creating this. They're just following what the guys in the NBA are doing. Hey, let's go create our super teams. And that's BS. That drives me nuts. I talked about they're tampering with, they can tamper with each other legally. The players, the college players, and it's nuts. You can just get all your buddies, hey, come on, let's just all come here. And that can happen. And I hate that about what's available, but it is what it is. And so we'll see how it goes. But I guess you just got to get yours and hopefully make it work out.
Yep, exactly. That's like
what do you got coming up
get
next?
that and then start winning. Yeah, like I said, we have a couple pieces coming up about Xavier Johnson. Kenya Hunter obviously talked to in great detail about not only him but Parker Stewart yesterday. Something that I think went a little bit unnoticed, just to throw it out there, that Parker Stewart hit 20 of 21 threes in practice the other day in their kind of live scrimmages and going back and forth. So I think Indiana fans are going to be pretty excited about what he can do. And then, like I said, Tamar Bates will have a story the next day or two about that as well.
Appreciate you, brother, as always. Verdell's going to join us next. Verdell, say hi to Alec. Alec, say hi to Verdell.
Alec, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Excited right now. Excited. A lot of good things going on.
See, it's all good. It's all great. Everything is good. We got Michael, the new listener there with Michael in Francisville. Where is Francisville, Michael? I'll have to look that up. But we love having you. Dane agrees, says he thinks that IU was a tournament team last year. They certainly could have been a tournament team last year. See, I was in Falling Down. We were earlier. You missed this, Verdell. Someone said that Alec looked like DJ Connor from the old Roseanne show. And then we got see, he knows who it is. And he put the picture up, and it was dead on. It was dead on. Can you get that back up one more time?
Oh, there.
Look at that. Oh, man. Come on. That is it. Joey nailed that. So, thanks a lot to Joey.
Oh, that's
man, see, we've been having fun. Now it's going to get
see, I'm missing a lot right now, man. I'm sorry I'm late.
Alec, if you got to go, you can go. If you want to stick around, you can stick around, but we got to take a break and come back, talk to Verdell, catch up with him. We said Verdell's running late this morning. I said, well, he's probably out taking a cat out of a tree for some woman. He's probably making lunch for the kids in the neighborhood. There's probably a fire he's putting out next door, walking the kids across the street. And whatever else you could do. But we'll find out what he's doing when we come back to Indiana Sports Beat. Brought to you by the great folks at Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, here at the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're looking for a new
I do have to run now, though. I knew I could until at least through that second segment, but I do have to run.
Perfect. See you, brother. Have a good one.
Have a good one, Alec.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
What's new with BJ, man?
Man, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Having fun, a little less stress in life right now. It's liking
the news that's coming out of B-Town right now.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Everything is better.
The energy, the chemistry, that's the whole atmosphere is just going.
I was just talking about that very thing, how basketball-wise, it's just been so nasty and negative over the last, for me. And I'm like, man, I've got nothing but positive things to say and feel. And it is. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's good, man. I'm excited. Things been going good this way. We had our AAU tournament with our young guys, and then picked out our puppy.
Where did you go?
We were in Bettendorf, Iowa. So it's the Quad Cities over here, like on the corner of Illinois and Iowa.
Gotcha.
Some big time teams. We actually beat a team from Indiana in the championship game. They were really a pretty good team.
So you win the championship on top, but buried the lead.
Yeah.
Bury the lead. You played and you won a tournament.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that Charlie Miller. I want to try to put together a camp, like a 1 weekend camp or something, sometime this summer with just IU guys teaching, like Charlie, you, AJ, Jordan. We can do it like Bloomington South High School or something. But it's an idea that Charlie and me have talked about, and I sent a text to Jordan yesterday. But I think it would be fun and great to get a little group and I like another kind of just a positive thing.
For sure.
I'll do.
That'd be fun to try to bring in some different guys from different areas too, just to come to it. That'd be
absolutely, man. Get you guys to play some golf or whatever. We'll do cookout fun.
Yeah, most definitely, man. That'd be fun.
Coming back in about 30 seconds.
All right.
Extraordinary destination, French Lick, West Baden, Indiana. You'll find great places to visit, to stay, to dine, and to play. We offer an up-close animal encounter with elephants and giraffes, lodging that is out of this world, world-class golfing, and a premier resort experience that is waiting for you on your next visit to French Lick, West Baden.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sillersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry. Welcome back to the Golf Club Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. That means Verdell Jones. He's here with us now. VJ, how you doing, brother?
Good, Jim. Sorry it was late, man. Had to do some things for the wife this morning. We're actually getting ready to go to Chicago for the weekend, just to try to get out of town and just see something new. You know, this whole COVID thing, it puts you in that little cave. Every now and then you need those little mini vacation trips. So we're excited, man. We're members of the Art Institute up in Chicago. That's where our first date was. So it's been a whole year since we got a chance to go. So we're excited to go back, man.
The Art Institute of Chicago. And your Wikipedia, I would not want to have anything to do with your freaking Wikipedia. It would have to be 10 damn pages long. I hope somebody's keeping up with this stuff because I'm not. It's too much.
I'm not either.
Let's see. There was a question. Verdell, any fire news?
No, not yet. I talked with someone on the board the other day. The chief loved me. We had a really good interview that had happened. Let's kind of play the waiting game now. The fire academy and stuff doesn't start till September, so they're doing a whole process now. So they interview the top 15. After they do the interview of the top 15, they kind of reorganize them all to how they want everyone to be or who they're most interested in. So haven't heard any news on the new list. They said I would probably hear something again probably before May. So now, like I said, man, it's just a waiting game. So my youth foundation is keeping me busy in the meantime, though. So there's still no Verdell should be chief. I wish. I got some learning to do first, though.
Oh, they said, yeah, but I'm looking at the one below yours I'm about to put up because it kind of really threw me off.
Okay.
Alec dates Lisa's daughter, asked him for his toddler pics. Dead on. Hey, that's up to you to get those for us. Do you think he's going to provide that to me? Hell no. You have to get those and send them. So your daughter has to go into there, steal those, and send them to us, and that is going to be his new. Oh my God, I will mess him up. No.
That'll be hilarious.
Oh man, I bet. See how long your honeydew list has got to be getting long, I assume.
I've been knocking it down. Actually, it's getting shorter, but now that the spring and summer is coming along, it definitely adds to the list. We're getting ready for a puppy, so it's getting her room and getting the cages and all that stuff is.
Now you got the puppy, right?
We picked the puppy out. Yep. So
Is there a name? Do we have a name?
Yeah, we're calling her Lady, off of like Lady and the Tramp. Calling her Lady.
Hey, all right. I'm not going to say anything. That original. I'm going to guess that was the wife's idea.
For sure. That definitely was. Absolutely.
Happy wife, happy life. Enough said on that subject.
I've learned that early in the game that you got to keep the wife happy if you want to be okay.
If you notice, I'm not even married, but I just went on by that. I knew better. I'm like, yep. I know enough. Yeah, that's how that works. Beautiful name. Love the name, Lady.
There we go.
Actually, when she gets bigger, it will be. It will be fun. It will be.
It's a little bit more of an easier name to give to a female Rottweiler.
Yeah.
We didn't want to give her Bane or something, Thor or anything like that.
Yeah.
We kind of want to gentle. Exactly.
Yeah.
We want her to have the looks, but we don't want to have the whole ego.
Jaws. Don't call her Jaws or something. If we do our cookout, Tony says we'll have to hit up Derek Elson. He can bring Sizzler, the dinner rolls. Yeah.
Hey, if you do the cookout, you got to have DL be the cook, man. He's one of the best guys on the grill. Derek Elston. He's one of the best guys on the grill that I've ever been around. He knows his way around the grill. Yeah, even in college he did. I'm sure his skill has only progressed since then.
Tori is down in West Palm Beach, Florida, listening. Man, I wish I was with you, Tori.
Man,
I'm jealous.
You hear me?
I've got some friends that are leaving tomorrow and invited me. I'm like, dude, if you'd have told me, just give me any heads up before that, I'd have been gone. But
for sure,
we're going to have the DJ pictures. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. He's not going to be happy about that. Should have named your name Hoosier, or at least get a Hoosier collar.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to get some Hoosier gear for her. That's a must.
Candy stripe, candy stripe collar. Start your own dog line. That's your next project. You don't have enough
next
project.
One to go after.
Start your next college-themed dog line. Candy stripe collars. Hey, how about a little set of candy stripe pants for the dog?
Little booty pants to put on them.
Yeah, just up the back. Candy stripes. Can you imagine that? A dog in some candy stripes?
People will buy those.
Oh, hell. Oh, my. Are you kidding me? I guarantee you those would sell. I'm not kidding. I promise you that would sell. Man, I wish
someone listening right now is going to take an idea and run with it.
I wish I hadn't said that out loud. I
know. It should have been between me and you, man.
You better write that down, because as soon as we're off, you better get on that, because I'm telling you, as I'm looking at that in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I guarantee you I could see those going down the street.
For sure.
Especially in this world now. The basketball team is about set, man. It's been a lot of changes.
Yes.
A lot of changes, but everything is positive. The staff is full. There's been some movement. The staff has grown immensely. You've got so many different guys now in different positions, but that is a great thing. They have just poured resources into this. And I think it's going to be a great turnaround. I'm not familiar with Mike Woodson. I mean, I'm familiar with him. I don't know Mike. Know Dane very well. But then you've got a couple guys that Kenya Hunter and Yasir Roseman that I don't know either, but that from different areas, and it's just a combination. But it's just all looking forward, looking good. The mood is good. Everything is positive.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been an exciting past couple of weeks. You know, his first days as a head coach has not been short of excitement at all. I think his staff is built to recruit. It's built to go get guys from all over and turn them into Hoosiers. I think that you'll see a great turnout from the state of Indiana, because Coach Woodson is from Indianapolis and you have Fife there. I just think, man, everything is going in a really good direction. The energy is there. The excitement is there. I mean, the mix of different kind of assistant coaches that he has, from young to older to, they're covering their bases. They really are. Hat off goes to Mr. Dolson. He had a vision with this hire, and he's really molded into something special. With Thad, with Coach Mata there, and things like that. It's just, I mean, they might be setting a new blueprint with how college programs are run now. With Coach Mata having his position and Coach Woodson being the head coach, but being selfless enough to ask for help and bring other people around. I mean, it's a well-rounded program right now. Nothing but positive news coming out of the practice gyms from coaches and players, which is always exciting to hear. Heard Parker Stewart shooting the lights out. You hear this developments of the TJD and other guys. So this is what you want to hear going into the offseason. You want to hear all this exciting news. You want to hear that people are meshing together. You want to hear that the coaches are having a positive attitudes and that recruits are interested in coming.
I'm going to get back to this conversation, but it's a funny comment. Verdell could have the collar with the words "the assist" instead of "the shot." I like that.
Right.
That's kind of funny too. That is funny, but it's still not. Daryl Thomas still gets the assist.
Oh yeah, that's for a championship right there.
But this is still the one that I promise you, if you ask people quickly, this is the assist they're going to think of. It's funny. Yeah,
this is a little bit more fresher in people's minds, I guess. The younger generation probably understand or probably live with our shot a little bit more. But I mean, that's a championship shot once again. It's a whole different story.
Rick says he saw that 8th grade championship shot in person.
Oh,
He won't forget.
wow.
How about that?
That's crazy.
Huh? Are you kidding me?
That's unreal. Is he from Morton?
I was going to say, where did this take place again?
This was in Olympia, Illinois, but we played against Morton Middle School by Peoria, Illinois.
Wow. Well, Rick, thanks for being along, man. We appreciate you. Let us know where you are.
I appreciate that. Wow.
Joey says, true story, 2010, Verdell knows how to start fires against Pitt. He was on fire, 20 points. Only thing that stopped him from scoring 50 was love for the Panthers.
That was one of my favorite games I ever played in. At Madison Square Garden, my first and only time playing there. That's truly a mecca. And so that whole game, the whole experience was a check off the bucket list, to say the least.
I've been just being in Madison Square Garden. I was there when the Big Ten tournament was there. I got to go up and was doing my show from up there, but just walking around on the concourse doing it. It was, before there was nobody there, but as I'm walking around with the headphones doing the show, I'm looking at all these pictures of John F. Kennedy, of Marilyn Monroe, and just Willis. You just keep going, and it's like, oh my God. Yeah. And it's like, because I've heard about this place my entire life.
Yep.
Madison Square Garden. And you just know you're in an area of great. It's just weird. It's awesome to have played there.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Man, legendary place. I mean, even coming up through the old elevators to the back. I mean, just everything about it screams history and historic times. So to come there and play and to win, especially during those tough years, and for me to play well, man, like I said, that was a dream come true. It's something I always remember and talk about.
I heard Parker was hitting 20 of 21 3-pointers in practice. You were talking about that on the deal yesterday. We'll talk about this when we come back. Saw UNC hire the next player to fill out their coaching staff. Arizona did not, and some of the players were not happy about it. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. NES Sports Beat coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by Andy Moore Honda. Right after this. Hey, Hoosier fans, whether you're looking for a new or a used. Yeah, there was a former player sent out a tweet to the new coach at Arizona, say, hey, you've got my 100% support. But they were pissed because his contract was released before they finished interviews with a couple of guys that I think, A, were African-American, and B, were former Arizona guys. And he said it seems kind of Rooney Rule-ish. So I don't have a problem with the hire, but and it does. It's like, how can you release that contract and you're still interviewing people?
Yeah.
That was a bad look.
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
But I think that I understand Arizona probably wants a fresh start, man.
Yeah, I mean, their hire. I think it's a good hire personally.
Well, you think of Gonzaga, you think of squeaky clean.
Yeah,
and they need.
It's still have the West Coast connections and recruiting. It's just. But you're right. It is. Arizona is trying to get a fresh face in there that's clean. You know what I mean? With the scandals that's been going on, they just need a whole new kind of fresh feeling.
The Millers made off with $50 million, man.
There's someone right now probably relaxing. Cigar, martini, and chilling.
Saying, how about them dumbasses back there? No more stress. I'd never coach again.
For what?
I mean,
for what? I'll go into a whole different industry.
He's not good, so I would never coach again. You've got more money than you could ever spend.
Yeah, I'll be relaxing right now. I'll be done playing. I'll be done coaching. Whether I was good or not, I'll be done. All right.
Yeah, they may have to give him a personality implant and put him on TV.
I love the interviews with Fife and Kenya Hunter too.
Yeah, did you see him making fun of my hair?
It's just nice, man. It's refreshing to have
that
kind of
God, you have
relationship
no idea.
with the team.
He was right off the bat when Dane came on. He started making fun of it. The funniest one was Kevin Brockway, who comes on here each Tuesday. But Kevin was down in Florida. Kevin's a great guy, but yeah, he had his face was red, just face red, sunburnt. He's a white as white can be, and so he goes down in Florida. Now he's all red. And Dane was like, "Whoa, man, you down in Florida there?" And he was like, "Yeah, I came down yesterday." And he said, "Yeah,
Back in 10 seconds. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Got a little burnt."
Casters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. TGIF and TGI VJ. We've got Verdell with us, as always. When we left, we were talking about UNC had just hired Hubert Davis to take their head coaching job, but I guess they hired some other players to fill out. Is that what you're talking about there? I didn't see that. But Arizona, I noticed, also had made a recent hire. They hired the Gonzaga assistant, which the problem was some former Arizona guys took exception to that because there were a couple more interviews after his contract details were released, and that made him a little upset, understandably. But I think that Arizona is just looking for a fresh start. They've, when you have those kind of issues, you've got to have a new slate. But I think that they didn't handle it correctly. How the hell can you have a contract signed and interview people after the fact?
Yeah. And it sounds like they're trying to appease certain people just to say that they interviewed them, but kind of knowing already who they wanted. And that's just kind of a poor class, especially for a historic place like Arizona, and especially for some of the coaches who were the ex-players who were interviewing for that job. Just out of respect, even if you know who you want to get, you just got to let the process go through, man. That's just, that's even like this Indiana, for example, the fact that, they might not have going to have Calvert or some of these other guys, they still gave them the opportunity to interview, gave them the whole due process before picking their guy. It's just a certain respect factor that you got to go through, man. Especially when you're dealing with alumni.
Yeah, I wish I could hit 3-pointers as I put in there. That's I tried that. I think it was last year, maybe. It was after a game last year. I was in there late for some reason, or maybe it was the season before. It had to be the season before. Uh-huh. But it's definitely, I know it's definitely harder now. It's definitely. And then I used to play a ton of sand volleyball until I got back to roping again. And that was I probably stopped playing sand volleyball in 2012. And I had a wicked serve, boy, overhand. And I was over there one day with some stuff. This would have been, I guess, last year too. And I went up to throw some serves in. I'm like, I about threw my shoulder out. I'm like, oh, hell. I could barely get the ball to the net. And I'm like, I used to zing that thing over. And I was like, whoa, what the? I was like, oh, it's over, man. Wow, dude, it's funny. This don't go together.
It's two different worlds.
Man,
I'm trying to tell you, Jim, that's one of the biggest things that's going on right now with, getting ready for the firefight and all that, is all these old injuries that I've had over the years, man, they just seem to pop up on out of nowhere. I've been getting physical therapy once a week and getting personal massages as well. Just trying to get all these little crooks and this soreness and just this and that. It's no bueno.
How rewarding was it for Verdell to go from losing as a freshman to beating UK and winning 27 his senior season and going on to the tournament? Yeah, you guys had quite the turnaround, man. I think you won one Big Ten game in 2008, 9, 10, 11. There was 11 won. So it went, great turnaround.
And it was and it was being a part of it from very beginning all the way to the end. It was very rewarding to be able to experience a lot of those things, especially the UK game. Obviously, that was to us was kind of just a deep breath that we could have, and the rest of the senior season was just fun because we got that monkey off our back. But I mean, it was just being a part of that turnaround every day and day in and day out. People don't understand the amount of time we spent in the gym, the amount of injuries we fought through, the sleepless nights, the aches and pains, the questioning yourself, and this is what you made the right decision. I mean, just going through all those things our first 3 years, and just to stick it out and be able to have the kind of senior season that our guys did, man, it was unbelievable and something that we will truly always remember.
Rick from Pekin, Illinois, remembers shaking hands with Sean Livingston at that championship game. I used to have a Pekin, Indiana address.
Okay.
Which is funny because whenever I'd go to a rodeo in Illinois, though, they would call it Perkins all the time. I'm like, you all have a city by the same damn name. You can't pronounce it. Like, golly. Tim's looking for his visors. Got to wait for him to come in, man. Still waiting for him to come in. Jeremy hit us up as well. Verdell, always will love Verdell and Watt for sticking it out when they could have left during the dark times. Man, that's when people did that. It's a good question. And you may not be able to honestly answer it because you probably don't know. Was there ever a time, do you think, that if this transfer portal was available where you didn't have to sit out, would you or anyone close to you have hit that after that, especially after that first season, man?
Yeah, I mean, you know what was crazy, Jim, is that there were a couple of times where I was very, very close to transferring. Had some other places that I thought that I might be able to help my resume as far as the NBA is concerned. I had a great sophomore year, and really that summer between my sophomore and junior year was probably one of my best off seasons as far as just getting my body, getting my mind right. I was the most athletic I ever was. I was dunking like crazy in practice and open gyms. I was like doing things I never even imagined. And so that point right there, when we had Guy Mark Michel was one of our big guys who's going to come and play, and he got marked ineligible by the NCAA, and that was kind of our missing piece that we needed. I always felt that we had good guards and wings, but to be in the Big Ten, we needed that big man piece. And when that happened, man, it was kind of frustrating. And the thought of transfer definitely crossed my mind. But like I said in previous interviews, my dad is someone that I always leaned on, and he was saying, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And you chose to come here, so we got to stick it out. And I'm glad I did one of the best decisions I ever made. I don't ever second guess myself on that decision ever. I even to this day, if I could have done it all over again, I would have stayed at IU and fought it out, because I felt that right there built something in me that I didn't have before, and that was just determination and understanding the long game, should I say. So, man, looking back at it, would I have changed or done something different, even if they had a transfer portal? Probably not. I probably still have been a Hoosier, man.
And I think that what kids need to really look at is that right there. You guys started at a time where it was unbelievably, horribly difficult. I mean, losing as an athlete, there is nothing that sucks more than getting your ass kicked. Time, and especially when getting it done once, that just makes you mad. When it happens over and over, there's all kinds of emotions, and so to stick through that. But now, how many kids wouldn't? But at the end of that, what was created was one of the most iconic moments in one of the most iconic programs in the history of college basketball. That moment doesn't happen if this transfer portal is available. I think some piece is not there, and that moment doesn't happen. And I think you just use the phrase exactly, the long game. They don't look at the long game. Yeah, they're too young to, and I get that. And that's the danger of having the ability to make too many decisions is without that experience, because the grass always looks greener. No matter how old we get, it always looks greener. But man, boy, no one could have predicted that moment over that team. And that is one of the most iconic moments ever. And it will always be. It would have been a shame to not have it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. You never know what would have happened if we'd have left or done it was somewhere else. You don't know where the whole situation would have been. You just don't know. But like I said, man, it was one of the best decisions I made. Like I said, it just created a different kind of mentality for me that I use even today. even when things aren't quite going the way I want them to go. I understand that there's a long game being played. You know, we always think we have a plan. They say if you want to hear God laugh, tell him what you have planned. You know what I mean? And so you just got to trust the process, you know. And that's what I'm learning to do more and more each day is just trust it now, the present, and then everything will work out in the long run. But people, you know, they always want to just jump ship quick nowadays if things don't go their way. And what are we teaching our young people when we do that? We're not teaching them anything about accountability or determination or hard work, you know. So, you know, it is the best decision I made, like I said.
Who was the better shooter, Tim Buckley or Tom Crean? I'll go with
Coach
Buckley.
Buckley, not even close.
If
you've seen Coach Crean shoot, that's not even a real question.
I didn't, but I knew it was Buckley because I knew he already worked with the guys. Hey, I'll get this one on real quick before we get out of here. Kudos to Verdell, Matt Roth, and Tom Pritchard for sticking around. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody for listening. Appreciate Verdell as much as anything for getting on here with us as always. Can't wait to do it again next week to find out what has happened in the life of Verdell, because that is a show upon itself, and I'm going to start doing one of these days. The life of Verdell. I'm not kidding. That's what you should be doing. That, by the way, we're going to talk about that. But man, what do you got planned for the weekend? You're going to Chicago with the wife. You got to get away.
Yep, going to Chicago, just getting away for the weekend. Some of our players from our program are going to this Chris Paul combine. So we took the weekend off as far as the program is concerned. But man, like I said, next Friday, man, I'm sorry I couldn't come today, but next Friday there are some updates that we'll have. There's some exciting things that's been going on the last couple of weeks around here. So I'll definitely be able to share that with everyone next week.
We're going to start getting, now that we're out of season, we'll just start getting some different people on with Verdell. We'll let Verdell bring on some of his friends and whoever he'd like to talk to, and we'll get out of season and try to talk a little less about the same things over and over and have some fun. Have some fun.
Right,
but, man, go out. Buddy,
it's good to see you smile, Jim.
Oh, man. I hope you guys have a safe trip to Chicago. Have a great, relaxing weekend. And everybody else as well. Go out and have fun. Enjoy yourself. Do something nice for someone. Wear your mask. And until Monday, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.